Hi, friends. Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We're your home for Caribbean weather. Nice to see you on a late Sunday. As I mentioned in my last post, I'm doing this remotely. I'm doing some traveling for the Thanksgiving week here in the United States. As a matter of fact, I'm in the heart of the U.S. I am in Missouri visiting my wife's family here. We've got our family in and just having a good time. Hope you guys are doing well. As I mentioned, I've got you guys covered regardless here, and we're going to get you into the forecast, what's been happening in your area, and then look ahead towards the week, as there is still a possibility of some tropical development in the Western Caribbean by the end of the week. So we'll deep dive into that. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section below what's been happening in your area, what the weather has been like. I know this video will look a little bit different than normal, but still got the nuts and bolts in place. So what do you say we get started with the weather forecast? Right now, you're looking at the current surface analysis across our area. Big ridge of high pressure has built in over the western Atlantic. Two different cold fronts have moved in. One has been able to slip its way down into the greater Antilles. A second one to the Bahamas. That's just kind of a reinforcing shot of some drier air. Now, along that first boundary into the south, we've had some moisture return, and we've actually had a decent development of showers and even a few storms today. Look in the western Atlantic. Portions of Costa Rica and Panama up towards Jamaica were late on this Sunday. Clouds and rain and a few storms are developing across the island. They're streaming north into eastern Cuba, the western sides of Haiti, even into the Turks and the Caicos, at least some cloud coverage. Can't even rule out an isolated shower or storm in the Cayman Islands late on this Sunday as well. And again, it's not just some rain, a decent amount of lightning strikes you can see over the last 15 minutes. A couple of spotty showers for portions of the Lesser Antilles, especially up towards the Leeward Islands. It's been drier today for most of northern Central America into the Yucatan, and the central and the northwest Bahamas have enjoyed some quiet and dry conditions as well. So let's get into the forecast. We're going to take a look at the rainfall here, look at the models, and then really deep dive into that potential development in the Western Caribbean over the next several days. Let's start off with what it's going to look like rainfall-wise here over the next week. Now, again, regardless of tropical development in the Western Caribbean, there's going to be a lot more rain. There's going to be a lot of tropical moisture to develop and to spread across our area. So those fronts that are keeping things drier right now are going to finally kind of erode away, and they will be replaced with southerly winds and moisture beginning to return. But again, in the Western Caribbean, it's not just rain. That's a definite. But there's opportunity to actually get a low-level center of development to form an area of low pressure, and I can't rule out the opportunity for a tropical depression or even a tropical storm by the end of the week. Look, I know it's late November, but we're still in the heart of hurricane season. Well, not in the heart of hurricane season, but we're still technically in hurricane season. But environmental conditions still support tropical development in the Caribbean. Again, high sea surface temperatures, very little wind shear. Our Central American gyre still spinning around. It's the same area that has produced multiple named storms in the Western Atlantic this hurricane season. So again, regardless of development, it's going to get wet again for places like Panama and Costa Rica, portions of the southern sides of Central America, especially along the Caribbean coastline. Moisture is then going to spread up to the north. Jamaica is going to get wet. Same thing for Haiti, maybe even the Dominican Republic, eastern sides of Cuba into the Turks and Caicos, and the Cayman Islands. Those areas will have the best chance for some heavier rainfall mid to late in the week, but south of there is where we could start to see that spin try and get going. Now, additional showers will be likely and rain chances will improve for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands and the Lesser Antilles, not directly associated again with that area of potential development in the Western Caribbean, and their drier locations will be the areas that are drier right now, and that's going to be the northern and the central Bahamas, the Yucatan Peninsula, and portions of the northern sides of Central America. So let me show you how it plays out on our models. We'll start off with the European model, our ensemble members. Again, all you got to look is into the Western Caribbean, where you can see that the ensembles are trying to develop. It's a weak area of low pressure. Look, it's not the signal of the heart of the hurricane season. There's no doubt about it. But we can't just completely dismiss what the models are trying to show here, and that's a couple of the ensembles trying to wrap up a low-level center. And some of them are strong enough where we would get a tropical storm. So Tony is not something that can just be written off. It's a low chance right now, but I don't want to just sweep it under the rug here that this is an area I'll be closely monitoring for the week ahead. And again, regardless, it's going to get wet in these areas, but you can see that the European model does try and spin something up kind of Thursday into Friday. Now, the GFS model is about the same, really. Both of them are showing weak areas of low-level center and lower pressures here. The GFS is a little bit stronger with one that tries to nudge it up towards the southwest side of Jamaica into Friday. Again, the development area is about the same off of the Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua coastlines, and then trying to drift up towards the north, towards places like Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Again, we know that regardless of development, we're going to get some wind and that we're going to get some rainfall to develop out of this as well. Speaking of the wind, that's going to be a big story too. Look, it's going to get windy. Surf and sea conditions have been elevated in a lot of areas, not just here, but through the Lesser Antilles and the Bahamas and Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. We've had a lot of rip current risk. We've had high surf and sea advisories in effect. And all those areas in purple, by the way, are winds above 20 miles an hour. And you can see at the end of this loop, if you look down just northeast of San Jose, you're going to see that spin come up here. Let me see if I can play that again for you guys real quick. Watch again that little devoid area, right? And then you can see the purple spinning around it. That's the low level center on the GFS model trying to develop here by Thursday and into Friday. And the GFS ensembles, several of them actually do have low-level centers. If you look at this product here, you're going to see those red numbers. That's the last two digits of the pressure. So if it's 07, that would be 1,007 millibar area of low pressure. So we have as strong as 1,000 millibars, a couple right around 1,009. But the fact that we're painting on some areas of low-level centers here shows you again that the models are honing in on that development chance as we get towards Thursday and Friday. Again, it's not a huge signal. It's not the highest chance for sure, but it is an area that bears watching. So if you live in these spots in the areas that I mentioned, that's what we're going to have to watch out for. So, friends, I appreciate you guys. And again, I have a passion for this, which is why I'm going to take it a couple of minutes out to record this video during our travels. And I'll continue to keep you updated through the week, especially if we have any real development chance in that region. If you want to give me a quick payback, just thank you so much for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing to Meteo Mundo. We are on our way to 50,000 subscribers. I think we're about 500 away as of the recording of this video. I would love to get there by Thanksgiving Thursday. I think it's a very attainable goal. So thank you for clicking the subscribe button right now and finding ways to support the channel. What do you say we get into your island by island rainfall forecast? It looks like this. Again, for the Northwest Bahamas, not a big chance for rain the next few days, just a 10% chance tomorrow, 20% chance Tuesday, Wednesday. Central and Southeast Bahamas, just isolated showers. Although I would expect moisture to begin to return late Wednesday, and that means improving rain chances a little bit beyond this forecast into Thursday, Friday. Same thing for our friends in the Turks and Caicos, where rain chances will improve beyond a 30% chance after Wednesday afternoon. Cuba's rain chances isolated to scattered in nature, a little bit better chance on Tuesday, Wednesday. Cayman Islands, best chance near where that front is right now, right? A 50% chance tomorrow. Then we'll see that frontal boundary fade, rain chances lower, and dependent on development and the overall influence of that development area in the Western Caribbean, I expect rain chances to begin to come back on the rise for the places like the Cayman Islands beginning on Thursday. Belize should just see some isolated showers the next few days, and even more isolated for our friends in Cancun and Cozumel. Jamaica's rain chances will be on the rise, 30% chance tomorrow, 40% chance for showers and a few storms on Tuesday, Wednesday. So again, if you live in these spots, let me know what's been happening in your area. Once again, Jamaica is an island that I do expect rain chances will go even higher Thursday and into Friday. The Dominican Republic will be isolated and scattered in nature, 40% chance on Tuesday, Wednesday. Will be about the same for our friends in Puerto Rico. Again, very high sea conditions outside, especially on the northern sides of the islands. Watch out for the long period swells. U.S. and British Virgin Islands, a 30% chance the next couple of days, 40 on Wednesday. Not a lot of rain in the forecast for Bermuda the next couple of days, up to a 40% chance on Wednesday. Then after a relatively dry start to the week for places like Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin area, Saba, St. Eustatius, rain chances will be on the improve as we get into our Wednesday, up to a 40% chance. Kind of back and forth. Antigua and Barbuda, 30% chance tomorrow, 20 on our Tuesday, 40 on Wednesday. Overall building rain chances for Montserrat. Guadalupe's rain chances go higher, up to a 50% chance on Wednesday. And that's the same opportunity for our friends in Dominica and Martinique as well. A little bit more isolated to scattered for St. Lucia, 30% chance tomorrow, 40 Tuesday, Wednesday. 40% chance across the board for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Once again, these areas, including Barbados, look, we're going to get some locally heavy rainfall, okay? Especially down to Trinidad and Tobago, where we've actually had some rainfall to cause some street flooding and some urban flooding. It's not widespread, but localized downpours that produce 1 to 3 inches of rain or 25 to 75 millimeters each day are not out of the question. So although the rain chances aren't especially high for Barbados and Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago. Some locally heavy rainfall is still on the board. Scattered showers for our friends in Suriname and Guyana. More isolated for Nueva Esparta. The ABC Islands, again, I don't expect a lot of rain the first few days, and then we'll see if some of that moisture in the Western Caribbean can build off towards the east, where we might start to see a little bit higher chance into our Wednesday and especially into Thursday for those areas. Let's take a look at the rain on the European model. Again, I'm going to let this start off and loop again. We'll start off very dry, but towards the end of the week, once we start to see that broad area of spin get going, look at how widespread the heavy rain is going to end up becoming in these areas. We're not just talking about a few inches of rain, but the European model has 4 to 6 inches of rain in all of those areas. That's 100 to 150 millimeters. A couple of spots much higher than that, maybe over 10 inches of rain in a couple of isolated locations of the Caribbean coastline of Central America. Places like Panama and Costa Rica and Nicaragua would have the best chance for that, but some heavier rain is possible for the Cayman Islands and eastern Cuba, Turks and Caicos, the Dominican Republic and Haiti, scattered rain for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Again, some good downpours for the Lesser Antilles, but just more isolated in nature, but there'll be some active weather throughout the week. And once again, the driest locations are going to be the ones that have been dry lately. That's going to be the central and the northwest Bahamas, the northern sides of Central America, and then into Quintana Roo as well. Our boaters have understood that it's been a pretty rough forecast in a lot of spots. Long period swells have been a big issue, and surf and sea conditions aren't going to be relaxing anytime soon, especially in the open waters of the Atlantic. So for our boaters on the eastern sides of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, northern sides of places like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands and the Lesser Antilles as well. We even have some pretty good swells on the western side of some of those islands. And again, towards the end of the week, if you look in the Western Caribbean, that spin up is obviously going to try and kick up some sea conditions in those areas as well. So I'll keep an eye out for it. Gulf of Mexico is a little bit quieter, but most of the Caribbean and Western Atlantic still seeing some elevated conditions. Friends, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for taking a quick second to join me here for this video. If you would like to follow us across all social media, you can do that. We're not just on YouTube. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me a picture or video, we'd love to pass that along. It's mymeteomundo@gmail.com. Of course, if you have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. And while you're down there, thank you for liking and thank you for subscribing. Again, can't rule out the possibility of a tropical depression or even tropical storm Tony in the Western Caribbean late this week. It's not a high chance, but it is something that I can't completely dismiss. So it is watch and wait mode. Again, regardless, rainfall is going to start to become an issue again as tropical moisture will be spreading across the central and the Western Caribbean in response to that area of low pressure trying to form. Friends, you have a great rest of your Sunday. Of course, I'll continue to provide you updates here even while I'm traveling. I'll be doing posts, maybe some shorter videos, and some of these long format videos as I normally do as well. Some of that will be dependent on simply how interesting things get in the Western Caribbean. Obviously, I'll keep a very close eye on it and keep you guys updated. Again, thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.